7 pi over 6, 4 pi over 3, 5 pi over 3, 11 pi over 6. Okay. So when you look at basically 30 degree, then 30 is basically pi over 6. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay. So now as you're looking at the unit circle, then it is easy to analyze it. But now, so you don't always want to use unit circle chart here, right? So now we need to find out how to find 30 degree represent pi over 6 without looking at unit circle. So one fact is 180 is pi. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then now we want to switch 30 to radian value. Then we need to get pi value here. So you can make 30 times pi over 180. As you see, pi and 180, they are same value whenever the radius value equal to 1. And then you simplify, then this becomes 30 pi over 180. So that becomes pi over 6. Make sense? Okay, I hope so. Then what about, I just give you pi over 3. Then how to switch this is degree value?
Pi over 3.
Over 3.
180 over pi.
Exactly. So 180 over pi, right? Then as you see, pi is gone. And then simplify this, then become 60. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then now, so I'm gonna just give you some time to complete converting the value. So page 6, chapter 6, page 6. So let's figure out number 3 and 4. So okay, so I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes. And then we start reviewing together. What's the radian value for 90?
Pi over 2.
The pi over 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about 120?
Two pi over 3.
Yeah, 2 pi over 3. Negative 225. So that also become negative 225 times pi over 180, which means negative 225 pi over 180. Okay, let's start simplifying. So divide by 5, then this becomes 45.
Yeah.
And this becomes 40. 45. This is this is 55. This is 45. So then you can do this is 45. I can even 5. Divide 5 and 4. So this becomes 30 what?
36.
36. Okay, then now 45 and 36. Divide by 9. Okay, then is 5 pi over 4, right? So this answer becomes negative 5 pi over 4. What about negative 150? Still negative though, because angle direction is different, but the calculation is always same. So negative 150. So negative 150 times pi over 180, which means negative 150 pi over 180. So now we can simplify, and negative 15 pi over 18. So what's the common factor between 15 and 18?
3.
3, and this becomes 5 pi over 6. Okay, 420. So 420 means
2 pi.
2 pi?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more than 2 pi. So
No, I mean like
420 pi over
3 pi.
80, cancel out, so 42 pi over 80. What's the common factor between 42 and 80? Maybe 6 again. So far 7 pi over 3, right? The answer is 7 pi over 3. Now we're doing opposite directions. We switch angle value here. What's the answer for the first one?
120.
It's 120
Yeah.
plus. So we can do 2 pi over 3 times. Now this is 180 over pi, right? Then this becomes 3060 pi over 3 pi. Therefore, pi and pi is gone. Now 120, so it should be 120. What about negative 7 pi over 3?
Negative 41.
Yeah, negative 420, right? So we found here already. So we can import it, the value here. What about negative 3 pi over 2? So this is negative 3 pi over 2 times
270.
80 over pi. Then pi is gone. 90, so 270. So negative 270. 11 pi over 6. 11 pi over 6 times 180 over pi. So this is gone. 30,
330.
so yeah, 33. basically. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now 4 pi.
720.
So 4 pi times 36, I mean 180 over pi. So pi is gone. So what's the 4 times 180?
720.
720. So now you know how to convert from angle to degree, I mean angle to radian or vice versa, right?
Professor, how you put the 720 in the circle?
That's great questions. So far we only cover 0 to 3060, or we can also say 0 to 2 pi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then now you can keep on going here. Basically, if I do just a radian value, because a radian is a little easier to do that. So
Can it be
0,
2 times the circle?
pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi. So it's keep on going anyway, but just to explain the angle value, we can just limit the range between 0 and 2 pi. But it is continuous, so you just keep on going. So its angle will become 0, 0, 180, 360, and then is it 540? The 540 and 720, you keep on like that. So, okay?
Okay.
All right, then now, what you wanna do, page 18. So based on given one trigonometry value, we're gonna find out other 5 more trigonometry function value, such as sine theta equal to 12 over 13. So we talk about finding, defining sine, cosine, tangent, all those values using the triangle too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now sine theta equal to 12 over 13, and then we're going to determine quadrant is
The second one.
second. Okay, which means this quadrant, okay, here. Okay, so sine theta equal to 12 over 13. Then how can we define that? So we just make one triangle here. So sine theta means sine theta means always opposite over hypotenuse. And cosine means adjacent over hypotenuse. So based on that, we can make, and this become 13, this become 12. Make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you are using the Pythagorean theorem. So the 13 square equal to 12 square plus x square. Then 169 equal to 144 plus x square and minus 144. So x squared equal to 25. So we know x equal to 5, right? But this is second quadrant, so you take a negative 5. Make sense?
Oh.
Okay, then now we can conclude that. So cosine theta means negative 5 over 13. Tangent means always y over x, or opposite over adjacent, which means 12 over negative 5. So you better know how to analyze it because the question will be on the final. So therefore, cosecant theta means 1 over sine theta. So you can write 13 over 12. Secant theta means 1 over cosine theta. So 13 over negative 5. Cotangent theta means cosine theta over sine theta, or 1 over tangent theta. So it becomes negative 5 over 12. Okay. Okay, so if you get confused, then you can also memorize this way too. I hope I can write spelling correctly. No. Do you know what this is?
Yeah.
So if we just
Deep
read
phase,
it, then
deep
becomes
phase one.
SOHCAHTOA, right?
Yeah.
SOHCAHTOA.
Shokatoi.
Yeah, sine is opposite of hypotenuse, cosine adjacent of hypotenuse, tangent opposite of adjacent. SOHCAHTOA. Yes? And then another way to memorize it, so here, when we have a triangle, and I'm gonna say this is y, this is x, and this is hypotenuse. Of course, I can say opposite, adjacent, and then hypotenuse. Okay, now, sine. What's the initial alphabet for sine? Initial alphabet for sine?
S.
S, right? So now
Yeah.
S, I'm gonna just writing S on the triangle here. So we have triangle, and this is the Y, this is X, and this is H. Then always ending to beginning. That's, remember that, ending to beginning. So I'm gonna draw S here. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So ending to beginning. So this become Y over H. And now, what about cosine?
C.
Cosine start from C here, right?
Yeah.
Again, ending to beginning. So we end X. We began H, so become X over H. Tangent. Tangent theta start from which alphabet?
T.
T. So from T. Okay. Ending to beginning, so become Y over X. So you can also remember this way too. Okay, so either way, so you can just memorize SOHCAHTOA, or just do triangle and then find the S, C, or T. That's also another way to do it. Okay. Yep.
Professor,
Yeah.
what if the angle it's on the other side?
I mean, the same thing here. So even though, let's say your triangle located angularly here, right?
Okay.
Okay, then just start still drawing here like that. I think I make it wrong. It's always from the x-axis. So which means this triangle, not this triangle. Theta here, right? And now, then you see that this is opposite. This is adjacent here, right? And that will be hypotenuse. Make sense? Then just redraw it. And you can analyze it. Or in this case, you can just apply so ka toa. Then let's just using the one example. I'm gonna say this is 6. I'm gonna say this is 4. Then 36 minus 16 equal to 20. So they become 4 root 5. Both are minus. Then based on that, you can find out sine theta become opposite over hypotenuse, so negative 4 over 6. And cosine theta become adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent means y, I mean the opposite over adjacent, which means 1 over root 5 like that. Okay? So am I making sense to you?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah. Or, I mean, if you get confused with
I
SOHCAHTOA,
think
then,
that this way to do is learning SOHCAHTOA.
yeah, SOHCAHTOA. Or you can also just making, using the triangle and then draw it S, C, or T. They're also working anyway. Okay? Any questions? All right, then. I'm gonna also give you practice time. So page 18. So number 3, B and C, please. Okay, anyways, the secant theta equal to 13 over 5 and sine theta is less than 0. Okay, so we need to understand this first. So on the plane here, so 13 over 5 and the sine theta is negative. So which means secant theta means 1 over, what's the secant theta is 1 over, anybody?
Cosine?
Yes, cosine theta, right? So which means cosine is positive, sine is negative. Okay, which quadrant represent cosine is positive and sine is negative?
Sine is positive and cosine is negative.
No, opposite. Cosine is positive, sine is negative.
So the first quadrant?
First quadrant?
Oh, wait. Sine is represent
third
the
quadrant.
y-axis.
So here again, so you need to find out which quadrant represent
Second, the second.
cosine is positive and sine is negative.
The second one.
So quadrant is going to counterclock direction. Okay.
Because we said the sign represent the y-axis and the cosine represent the x-axis.
Yes.
So if the sign is the negative,
Yeah.
also the third one, the fourth one.
The fourth ones, right?
Yeah, the fourth.
So if you can just also remember that A, S, T, C, or sine, tangent, cosine. Okay, A, S, T, C.
What does that
So, you know, in this, the first quadrant, everything is positive.
mean?
Okay, and second quadrant, sine is positive. Third quadrant, tangent is positive. The fourth quadrant, cosine is positive. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we are talking about fourth quadrant here. So this angle measure somehow like this, and this is 5. This is 13. You know why I put 5 is x-axis and then 13 is radius here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because sec means one over cosine, another word, hypotenuse over adjacent. That's the reason. Okay, then what should be y value then? So if you calculate then, so you can find the y value.
Isn't it 2 multiply with square root 2?
No, we have to use a Pythagorean theorem here. So this 90 degree anyway, so 13 squared equal to 5 squared plus y squared. So 169 equal to 25 plus y squared and minus 25. Then y squared equal to 144 square root. Then we got y equal to plus and minus 12. But this time we are taking negative 12 because the fourth quadrant y will become negative, right? Okay, so based on that, we can measure other trigonometry value. So sine theta becomes negative 12 over 13. Cosine theta becomes 5 over 13. And tangent theta equal to negative 12 over 13. Now from here, cosecant theta means negative 13 over 12. Now secant theta means also, so 13 over 5, which is given already. Now cotangent, negative 13 over 12. Okay? So now, so see here, cotangent theta equal to negative 3, and cosine theta is bigger than 0 here. So how to define cotangent theta? Which means
Is it x over y?
yes, x over y, right? Or adjacent over opposite, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so that's cotangent. Now we're gonna find out. So this value becomes negative, but cosine is positive. So I guess this is also fourth quadrant. Makes sense? Because the cosine is positive, but the value becomes negative, which means y becomes negative. So I can make Small like this. And the theta. And negative 3 means 3 over negative 1. So become 3 and negative 1 so far. And then using the Pythagorean theorem, so find the hypotenuse. So h squared equal to 3 squared plus negative 1 squared. So h squared equal to 9 plus 1 equals 10. So h equal to root 10. So this time I don't put plus and minus because in this always hypotenuse, it's always positive value. Okay, so this become root 10. So based on this, we can find sine theta equal to negative 1 over root 10. And cosine theta means 3 over root 10. And tangent theta means negative 1 over 3. And like we did before, so I don't have, so I'm gonna just, so cosecant theta means negative root 10. Secant theta means root 10 over 3. Cotangent theta means negative 3 over 1, which we got already. Okay?
So for this type of question, we have to write everything down like that.
Yes, yes. Because so there's at least one question ask you to analyze all 6 trigonometric value. Okay. The another type here. You may be given. We just give a coordinate such as negative 2, 5. Okay. So that's the given coordinate. Then you can just start from 0 and then negative 2 and so 5 here. So based on the, if you do the triangle like this and then negative 2 and 5. Since we can construct a triangle, you can analyze all 6 different trigonometric functions. So hypotenuse h squared equal to 5 squared plus negative 2 squared. So h squared equal to 25 plus 4. So h equal to square equal to 29, which means h equal to root 29. So again, I didn't put plus and minus because hypotenuse is always positive. So this become root 29. Then based on that, you can analyze all 6 trigonometric value. So sine theta, 5 over root 29, cosine theta, negative 2 over root 29, and tangent 5 over negative 2. So cosecant theta root 29 over 5. Secant theta negative root 29 over 2. Cotangent theta negative 2 over 5 like that. Okay? So sometimes we give you like order pair, like this order pair here, order pair, or sometimes we just give you one of the trigonometric function value. Then you should know how to find other trigonometric function value using given the information. Okay? I'm sure this type of question will be on the final, so you should understand clearly. Make sense to you?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
I would like you to explain a little bit how to find the quadrant.
Quadrant? What do you mean?
Yeah. Where should be the triangle? In what quadrant? Is 1 quadrant or 2, 3, or 4?
Okay, so let me pause video for a second because I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So first quadrant, everything is positive because x and y both are positive here.
Mm-hmm.
Second quadrant, only sign is positive because the y value positive, x is negative. Third quadrant, tangent is only positive because x and y both are negative here. So negative over negative become positive. So tangent is only positive value. And then, so fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. So only cosine is positive. Make sense?
Okay. If I understand, if they give an equation, for example, it's sinus sine theta equal to 12 over 3 over 13. Example.
Okay.
That means we have to use the first quadrant, all positive, right?
Which quadrant?
The first one.
First one?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, because it is on Q1, so everything will be positive.
Okay.
Okay, so this graph is right here. And this is 13, this is 12. Now, we know a lot, so this becomes 5. So then, sine theta is given 12 over 13 already. Cosine theta, 5 over 13. And tangent theta, and 12 over 5. And then cosecant theta, 13 over 12. And secant theta, 13 over 5. Cotangent theta, 5 over 12, like that.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna pause this video and then I will show you